Welcome, everyone. John Dubuis here in the cold northern hemisphere, and this is our day, our weekly, meditation together. We awake, and appreciate everybody who shows up, and appreciate you, whoever's here for the first time. And the idea is if we put our minds and hearts together and meditate, good things happen, and fields of energy are created. And this has been verified by science and by our own personal experience. And of course, in the pandemic, we learned that we can really share spirit and share positive energy and connect with people over these amazing technologies that the universe has developed through us. So today we're doing it's called the freedom of forgiveness. And this is a guided meditation. There's 3 parts to it, and we're doing the second one. It's a short version. It's about a little over 16 minutes. And it is the guided meditations by Dr. Bob Weathers, who is a psychologist and a colleague and a friend. And if you're familiar with our work over the years, we've done quite a few things together. And he's a brilliant guy. And this is part of his daily practice. And he wanted to share it with the world, and I think it's really good. And of course, this is right before Thanksgiving in the United States and other countries that celebrate it. And anyway, I think very appropriate for that. So why is forgiveness so important? Because if we don't forgive, we get stuck. Okay, and if we forgive ourselves for the things we've done and forgive others, it just leads us happier, and it leads us physically healthier. And there's just so many reasons that I won't get into it all, but it is really an essential practice. And having this as part of a ongoing transformational inner meditation is very powerful and very good. So without further ado, let's everybody sit up straight. And remember, just your first few breaths, just relax your body, okay? And you start feeling from your feet to your knees, your thighs, your belly, your shoulders, where I hold a lot of stress, and even your jaws. Relax your tongue, your eyes, and get into a deeply relaxed state so that we can be in a more receptive state to receive the power of the entrainment sound, which was created by Douglas Prater and by the meditation led by Dr. Bob Weathers. So turn off your phones, your ringers and your dingers, or put it on airplane mode for a few minutes, and it'll all be there when you get back. So without further ado, let's do this thing. Okay.
I'd like to welcome you to an exercise in self-compassion. We'll be utilizing forgiveness practice based in mindfulness meditation. We'll start with a brief mindfulness of the breath practice just to get ourselves centered and accessible. And then I'll guide us through a series of instructions, all of them addressing forgiveness. So in your mind's eye, in your heart, see if you can locate an interaction or some event where you wronged somebody, quite possibly unintentionally, that we want to give opportunity now to breathe into forgiveness. So once you have that person in that situation in mind, just settle in. Take a deep breath in. Hold that. Notice how that feels. Hold it, and then let it go. On the next breath cycle, see if you can focus your attention just on the sensations of breathing. Breathing in, and breathing out. When thoughts or feelings or other sensations arise, gently set them to the side, drawing your attention back to the sensations of the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay. In this place of being a bit more settled, a bit more centered, let's draw on the individual and
So there we are. And yeah, it's really hard to get through this life without having been hurt or having hurt others through our projected anger, through our insensitivity, through our bad thinking, through our selfishness. I mean, we all have that, and we all go through that, and we all get hurt. And so yeah, and yeah, I've had some experiences around that of being able to deeply forgive, and it's even if the person doesn't merit forgiveness. In other words, they haven't apologized. You know, they've gone on and hurt other people or whatever it is. It's just like we can't, if we hang on to that stuff, it hurts us, you know. So it's letting go, and perhaps, maybe sometimes you can have the grace, just the miraculous thing of just being able to let go. And I've seen that. And then sometimes we can do it prematurely. Well, I forgive it. It's just a mental attitude. But the truth is, there's all this rage and hurt that's still there. So Robert Keegan said that in development, as we develop, that the subject of their prior levels become the objects of the current level. So as you progress and you expand in awareness and consciousness and your ability to be compassionate and wise and function in the world, considering more perspectives and to walk in wisdom, those things that really used to drive you to drink or to despair or to rage or to striking out or hurting people or hurting yourself seem to they shrink in contrast to the expanded consciousness that we cultivate when we go into deep prayer, deep meditation, we continue our practices, or we have those moments of startling insight into the nature of reality. So those things, and I had a experience one time where I really got that the infinite mystery or spirit that is God, you can call it that, is love, and that um, that infinity of love can hold all of your hurt and your pain in such a way that experientially it just really doesn't matter, you know. And then the vision expanded, and it was that all the suffering and all the betrayals and all the invasions, the just the horrible criminal activities that we as human beings do to one another and to our other living sentient beings we share this planet with, uh, it could be held in that, you know, and not just our world, but all worlds, and not just our universe. Perhaps there's other universes can hold that in a way that uh, makes it deeply okay and allows us to forgive. And and Jesus allegedly said when he was dying on the cross, he said, "Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do." And that's just about the basics of every hurtful thing that's ever been done, for they know not what they do, whether we're doing it to someone else or some other being, or a river, or a tree or a plant or a bug or whatever it might be, or to others, is because we've forgotten who and what we are and what is the nature, our deepest nature. When we can rediscover that, then it can be okay, and can make all of that other stuff okay too. And as we get in touch with that, um, it justifies existence and all the pain and all the struggle and all the betrayals and all the hurt on a deep, deep, deep level. And in the end, there's this incredible okayness at the foundation of all things, and that we're just evolutionary working it out to become what we have the potential to come. And again, using the old overused metaphor of the diamond, it takes a lot of work, a lot of pressure, millennia, thousands of years, maybe millions of years of pressure and heat to create that hard stone that with the right expertise, we can make it translucent and reflect light in a beautiful way. And I think we are all, in a sense, are those diamonds in the rough that are being cultivated and brought forth by the intelligence of the universe, if you want to call it that, or by God. And it doesn't seem that we have just one shot at it. Okay. Which is really good, because one time around, it's not enough for me to get it together at all. So, I think Ken Wilber said one time, and borrowing from the wisdom of Buddhism, I think it was, is that the good stuff that we do is carried forward from lifetime to lifetime, or from relationship to relationship. And the many changes and the rebirth that we haven't that happened to us in this lifetime, we go through periods and change careers and change, relational structures, as I certainly have. I've traveled most of my life from one area to another, but that the wisdom accumulate, and the wisdom that we 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 learn from being hurt, okay, and hurting others is okay. I don't have to do that anymore. I can behave in a different way. Or if I, you know, um, being my human self, I walk in and unintentionally, or just in a moment of, of being asleep, I hurt somebody, then we've learned to clean it up, right? But AA taught us 12 steps is to, if you've hurt somebody, clean it up, you know. Okay, I'm sorry. I was, I lost my stuff to alcohol and drugs, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm trying not to do that day at a time, but really forgive me how I've hurt you. And sometimes it clears things up, sometimes it doesn't, but nevertheless, we need to make the effort, you know. Um, yeah, and yeah, it's a huge, enormous subject, and it opens up great vistas of stuff we could explore. But I don't think we have time or the place to do it right now. So anyway, thank you for that. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Doug, for creating that for us, and hopefully that gave us a little taste of how we can switch perspectives. From being the hurter to the hurtee, and take responsibility on both sides of that, and not become, I don't know, victims of our own anger, hatred, or bitterness, but we can let go, because it is at the deepest, 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 deepest level. And what really matters is love and its expression and its creativity. I know it's a big mystery, but there it is. So, anyway, thanks, you guys.